What's good, YouTube? Today we have the most terrifying prisons on Earth, like good enough.
Basically hell on earth. Number 10, San Quentin State Prison. San Quentin State
God
Prison is a medically hell on earth.
damn, what the
Number
fuck is
10,
going on
San
in this prison? Niggas got a whole guts berserk sword, bro. That is not right.
Quentin State Prison. San Quentin State Prison is a maximum security facility in California and is one of the most notorious prisons in the world.
California, yeah. Honestly, if you take a look at this picture, this is probably your average day in California right here.
Maximum security
Right
facility in
here.
California and is one of the most
Basically, prison.
notorious prisons in the world. Many well-known inmates have been incarcerated here, from Charles Manson to
Oh,
serial killers like the Night Stalker and the Freeway Killer, as well as numerous
okay.
gang leaders. Now, what really makes this prison so terrifying is that anyone who comes in is heavily pressured to join a gang.
Isn't that just with most prisons? Like, every time I hear about prison, they're like, "Oh, if you don't join a gang, bro, then you better watch yourself." Hey, see, kids, that's just another sign. Don't go to prison gang, cause everything bad in prison happens, bro. You might get your butt taken. You might you might have to join a gang for protection and get stabbed, bro. You might get set on fire. Like it's crazy.
Now, you don't really have the choice to choose which one. You just simply take a look at your skin and sort yourself accordingly.
Yeah, a lot of prison gangs are very heavily separated by race. I hear, which is kind of crazy. They're living in like 1950s time. But then again, a lot of these niggas probably are from the 1950s. So, you know,
And if you're caught at the wrong place at the wrong time, well, you better hope to be an ethnically ambiguous person, giving you enough time to get into your fighting stance before getting shanked. The reason why
yep.
this infamous prison sits at the very top of the list is simply because it has changed so much in recent years. Today, inmates can
Oh
be
God.
found gardening, playing kickball, performing concerts, and taking yoga and art classes. There are also many educational programs to help inmates secure jobs once they're released, like
You know what? For as much as I probably do shit on California, good on them for actually trying, bro. So I guess the
plumbing courses, culinary programs, and coding classes, ensuring that they will be better off than most Americans. Number 9, San Pedro
why is that so real? They really will if they get out.
Prison. San Pedro Prison, located in La Paz, Bolivia, is one of the most unique and overcrowded prisons in the world. It was designed to house 600 inmates, but it currently holds around 3,000. This doesn't take into account the countless women and children who live within its walls, as many
Nigga, what? You can choose to bring your family with you to prison in Bolivia, bro? This just sounds like a bro.
inmates choose to bring their families with them. Now, what makes this prison so unique is the fact that there are no guards or government officials inside. It's entirely
What?
governed by the inmates themselves.
Horrible idea. Probably so many people have fucking died. But honestly, what's the deal with them? Because
And honestly, it
just
looks
they probably have more pressing matters to attend to.
more like a neighborhood than an actual prison. Just
Which it does look like a fucking neighborhood.
inmates themselves. And honestly, it looks more like an
Honestly, if I saw this like walking down the street, I would think this is just like a little gated off community. I would never prison.
neighborhood than an actual prison.
Also, what the hell? They just got random guard towers on here. Who? If there's no guards who's watching this prison, there's nobody up here. Useless.
Just surrounded by a large wall. Police never enter and only guard the perimeter, deciding who can come in and out. The Bolivian police can
Okay. Oh, okay. So there are prisoners. There are at least cops outside to make sure people don't just escape. But honestly, the inside probably
actually care less about anything that happens inside the prison walls. They claim that it's a new and progressive way of running a prison.
more like a way to call all the criminals, bro. You're not doing shit to help these people. You're just locking them in basically a cage, telling them to fight to the death.
But it's obvious that they simply don't want to work. Now, interestingly
See, he knows.
enough, the boss of the prison is elected by the inmates. The boss then chooses his soldiers who will enforce the rules. The enforcers are easily spotted by their uniforms, wearing all black Adidas tracksuits, which I must admit is genius. Not only do the uniforms make them look professional, but they're also very practical, since you never know when a game
So basically, this dude's basically just got a small like cartel, and he basically runs the place.
of soccer could break out. But let's talk about what makes this prison so scary. The main problem here is the abundance of drugs,
That's the problem. I'm not even gonna lie. I thought it was gonna be something like, oh, the inmates keep thanking each other, or it's just drugs. That's the problem here. I'm not even gonna lie. They probably do make some crazy ass drugs. They probably make a fentanyl.
which are conveniently made in manufacturing labs inside the prison. It's estimated that as much as 60% of inmates are addicted to at least one. Coca leaves soaked in chemicals and cocaine are two of the most popular drugs abused.
Honestly, not surprising. But let's really talk about this, bro. I've seen inmates create some like really high tech level shit for very specific purposes. Like inmates, they're low key real engineers, but they just don't know how to tap into their potential. Because when they really get motivated to make something, bro, they can make that joint. They really can, bro. Like some inmates are really smart. Well, I don't know if you're very smart for getting yourself in prison, but not everyone starts off as smart. Everyone grows, whatever.
Which can eventually lead to insanity. Not for the addict,
Ooh,
but for anyone who has to suffer by listening to them. The two most common ways people die within the prison are either from drug overdoses or murder. Number 8, Bang Quang Central Prison. Bang
honestly, now I'm not even concerned. I'm really concerned with the murder part because you know what it is? It's just crackheads fiending, bro. They can't get their next fix. So now they gotta go kill somebody for it. Be careful, bro.
Quang Central Prison is a
Don't do
maximum
drugs.
security prison located in Thailand. The prison houses inmates who are serving
Okay,
long
Thailand.
sentences, typically 30 years or longer, life in prison, and those who are awaiting execution, since this is the only prison in the
Okay.
country that administers lethal injection. The majority of inmates are currently serving time for drug-related crimes. This includes many foreigners who had the genius idea of attempting to smuggle drugs out of the country, only to be caught in a place known for having some of the harshest penalties in the world for drug possession. In Thailand, drug smuggling can easily get you life in prison or even the death penalty. But let's talk
Damn. Is that fair though? Honestly, that seems. Honestly, I think it should really depend on the judge.
about the prison and what makes it so scary. On arrival, new prisoners must get their legs chained and welded together.
Mhm.
And if you don't
Okay.
have the bribe money for the blacksmith, the chains will be welded tighter than necessary, causing extreme
Yes.
discomfort, wounds, and infections. The chains must remain on for the first 3 months. After
Whoa. Okay. I just saw the next line. What?
this period, the chains are removed by sawing off the inmate's legs. Just kidding, the chains are easily removed.
Oh, thank
Another
God.
reason why this prison is so awful is the food.
I'm not even gonna lie. Every prison is awful for having bad food. I have. There's only one prison I've ever seen that has good food, and
Here, inmates receive 1 meal per day, a bowl of plain white rice. But if they're lucky enough, they might get a bowl of fish head soup, which isn't sufficient enough to meet nutritional needs. So inmates resort to capturing rats and eating them. Rat meat is so valuable that it serves as a form of currency.
I'm not even gonna lie. This is a point I hope that nobody ever has to get to. I really do. using rats as your motherfucking currency. That should be honestly illegal as fuck. But you know what? I guess everyone has to do what they do to survive. I hope nobody ever has to get to this point ever in their life.
In the prison. For example, a bowl of rat soup can be traded for cigarettes, snacks, Pokemon cards, or an entirely different meal.
Nigga, people are trading rat soup for other meals. What is y'all eating in here, bro?
Guards excessively beating inmates and drug abuse is also very common inside the prison. Number 7. CCOT. CCOT in El
Oh yeah, I've heard of CCOP. This is honestly though, a lot of these people probably deserve it.
Salvador is the
So
largest prison in the Americas, currently housing around 15,000 inmates, but capable of holding
mm,
up to 40,000. It houses two of El Salvador's most dangerous and illegal gangs.
oh yeah, that's crazy too. They only house the gangs mostly, gang affiliates mostly. They only,
MS-13 and Barrio 18, which were easily captured since their affiliations were conveniently written on their faces.
yeah. The problem with getting tattoos about your gang affiliation is that they're gonna know that you're a part of whatever you have on your face. These people aren't. Then again, never.
In the free world, the two gangs are engaged in a deadly
Motherfuckers got a whole ray gun.
war, killing each other without hesitation. But here, inside the prison, they're forced to live together and are expected not to cause a single problem. If they do, they are taken to
The thing is, they don't cause problems. If you look at any documentary on CSOT, anybody who's visited the prison, no prisoner ever causes, because these motherfuckers are ruthless out.
solitary confinement, a dark isolation cell entirely made of concrete, where they will be left for a minimum of 15 days, but possibly much
Damn,
longer. So what makes this prison so
yeah,
scary, you
that
might
breaks
ask?
people.
Well, for starters, most of the prisoners will never be released. They're also not allowed visitors, and will likely never step foot outside of the building again.
Yup. Congrats, bro. You join a cartel, and now the only thing you'll ever see for the rest of your life is concrete. You'll be sleeping on fucking metal tables the rest of your life, eating trash food, and they're also not even really allowed out the cells, I don't think. So like they're basically stuck in there with all those people for the rest of your life. When you get old, when you're 80, bruh, you gonna be serving time. You see a cut? My dumbass stopped recording. Anyways, let's continue on.
However, they do get 30 minutes of exercise per day, but even that takes place inside the building, only a few steps away from their cell. But the most controversial and terrifying aspect of it all is that a small percentage of the prisoners are completely innocent
Damn.
and were never part of a gang to begin with. They were arrested by the police or military to meet their daily quotas. This has captured the attention of many large public
Ah, come on, man. Can we stop doing this? Well, not stop doing free innocent people. Can we stop like arresting the wrong people at this point? Like with all the technology we have, we really should not be having these issues.
applications from around the world, but to this day, the issue remains unresolved. Number 6. Rikers Island. Rikers Island is the most violent and dangerous jail in the US.
Woo, Rikers Island. I'm not even too far away from New York. I could probably go see this sometime. Loki, that would be.
In 2022, there were 491 incidents of inmate on inmate stabbings and slashings. The jail
God
is also
damn.
ridiculously overcrowded and unsanitary, with inmates describing the living conditions as pure hell. But I'm just not buying it, since 42% of inmates quickly return to crime after their release.
Now, a fault on the person, yes, but also because obviously they ain't getting rehabilitated in there, which is the main reason prisons exist, which
Eager
most of them. So I I don't know. I just don't understand. people who get out after doing crimes.
To get back to Rikers for an extended stay.
Especially if you serve a long prison sentence. Like, if you serve 20 years, bro,
Now, the
why are
reason why
you
Rikers is so
why are you going back out to do another crime? There's just no reason to.
dangerous is simply because of its lawlessness. The prison often leaves entire units unsupervised. This is because on any given day, a third of the correctional officers either call out or don't show up at all.
So y'all just don't be showing up and they still pay y'all? Y'all still make money even though y'all just decide to not.
Leaving inmates to run the units however they see fit. They have actually been caught admitting to running gambling rings and fight clubs, which really goes to show why they ended up in jail in the first place, since they can't even follow the first rule of their own club. But not only is this jail the most dangerous for inmates, it is also the most dangerous for correctional officers.
Now, this is what happens when you let basically inmates run a prison. They're gonna start thinking that. So now, this somebody.
In 2022, there were over 1,500 cases of assaults on officers and workers. That's an average of at least 4 per day.
4 people every day get attacked. Here's like, there's
Making this place pure hell for anyone who even steps into the building. Number 5. Black Dolphin Prison. Black Dolphin Prison is one of the most
good old Russia, known for having the worst prisons.
terrifying prisons in the world, only housing inmates that are serving life sentences. It is located at the edge of Siberia, Russia, near the border of Kazakhstan. Now, at first glance, you might confuse this prison with SeaWorld, seeing that there are multiple statues of dolphins outside the building. But that is a prison in the US. Here, inmates arrive blindfolded, and once inside the prison, they are quickly bent over.
Oh my. Nigga Pennywise watching in the
Chill,
corner,
don't
bruh.
get too excited. They are then walked to their new cells. This is done to disorient the inmate, preventing them from memorizing the layout of the prison. So in the unlikely event that the inmate escapes from his cell, they will get lost in the labyrinth, encountering many puzzles and riddles. Each cell has 3 metal gates and is under 24/7 video surveillance. Once inside, inmates are required to stand all day long, approximately 16 hours per day. They cannot sit or lay down until it's time for bed. They do, however, get 90 minutes of outdoor activities, which of course just means that they are brought outside and placed inside of a slightly larger cage. The prison houses 700 of Russia's deadliest and most psychopathic criminals, who have a combined murder count of around 3,500 people, or an average of 5 murders per inmate. Number 4. ADX Florence. Easily the most terrifying prison in the US is ADX Florence, a maximum security prison.
I did not even know this prison exists. This looks insane. Anyone else see a face here? That just
located in Colorado's Rocky Mountains.
So it doesn't look too bad. This is like better than what most like prisoners in the like average prison get.
This Supermax prison only houses the most dangerous criminals in the world, such as the Unabomber, the Shoe Bomber.
The Unabomber is in there? I didn't even know the Unabomber was still alive. I thought he died a while ago.
The disgusting underwear bomber, and of course,
the underwear bomber.
The drug kingpin, El Chapo.
Okay, so this is where El Chapo was taken. But I want to talk about this dude. The dirty underwear bomber. That's what you want to be known for?
Just to name a few. Here, these inmates are kept locked in their cells in isolation for 23 hours a day. They're only allowed 1 hour of exercise per day inside of another steel cage. This, as you can imagine, can have a mental toll on prisoners, completely breaking them and leaving them with permanent psychological issues. Since the prison opened in 1995, there has never been an escape or even an attempt. as it is basically impossible. You see, the cells are entirely made of concrete, equipped with motion
Okay.
detectors and 24/7 video surveillance, all behind a
Uh-huh.
steel door. Outside of the cells are
Damn, only one
1,400
steel door?
remotely controlled doors, pressure pads, and laser beams that detect any unauthorized movement. Outside, you will find tall perimeter fences topped with multiple
Odd world reference.
rows of razor wire and more motion detectors. Then of course, there are the countless sniper towers that watch over the entire compound, eagerly awaiting for their chance at target practice. Then finally, there are
Trigger
multiple
happy
entry and
motherfuckers.
exit points that are heavily guarded. In short, there is no way out and inmates know it, which only adds to the feeling of dread and hopelessness, making this not only a physical prison, but also a mental one.
You're
Number 3.
never getting out of here, bruh. You're never getting.
Diyarbakir
Never ever.
Prison. Diyarbakir Prison in Turkey has to be one of the most sick and twisted prisons on earth. The prison has a long history of torture and psychological abuse against its prisoners. As early as the 1980s, there were thousands of reports of torture and over 100 deaths attributed to it. But I'll just cover some of the most common methods that were used, or else we'd be here all day. Prisoners endured severe
Okay.
beatings, were stripped naked, blindfolded and hosed with high-pressure water. They were placed in isolation cells for days, starved, hung by their arms, and forced to stand for long periods. They also received electric shocks, burnings, and
Wow.
the extraction of healthy teeth and nails, as well as having their limbs crushed. But perhaps
Is this another Soviet prison? No, this is Turkey. But goddamn, why are they taking so much inspiration? What did these what did these
one of the strangest torture methods involved the captain's dog, which was trained to bite the genitals of naked prisoners.
that's actually sick. Those people probably bled out. It only takes 7 minutes to bleed out of your your private parts. Don't ask me how I know that. The Django Unchained, bro. The Django Unchained.
Then there was the psychological
If you
torture,
know, you
like the
know.
one they called the disco. Every new prisoner was thrown into the prison sewers and would be left there for several hours. Now,
Ugh.
thankfully, today most of these torture methods are no longer in use, but some
Okay.
remain. They've just gotten better at covering them up. Reports continue to emerge of prisoners being tortured, beaten, and forced to live in inhumane conditions inside cells that are infested with
I feel bad for it.
cockroaches and
I really feel bad for it. Anyone who was innocent, because now they're getting this treatment for no reason.
disease. Number 2. Antananarivo Prison. While some prisons are notorious for their violence or psychological torment, Antananarivo
Okay.
Prison in Madagascar is terrifying for its overcrowding and disgusting living conditions. The prison was
Okay.
built to house around 800 inmates, but today it holds around 4,000.
So the same as Bang Quang over here, right?
As you can
It's
imagine,
overcrowded as
diseases and
shit.
bacteria run rampant here, with visitors stating that you will smell the place before you ever see it.
That's disgusting. Real medieval town type livings, bro. Except you're not comfortable. At least in
Now,
some.
when I say that the place is overcrowded, I'm not just talking about the inmates. The prison is completely infested with cockroaches, rats, lice, and fleas.
Yeah, probably what I'd expect when you have that many people living in there. It can't be too sanitary. Probably don't got enough fucking toilets, so people are probably shitting on the fucking floor.
With the majority of prisoners completely covered in bites,
Oh, bro, imagine trying to sleep.
from head to toe. Once 5 p.m. strikes, prisoners must enter their cells for the night, which are just small rooms with a connecting toilet shared by all the inmates. The door is locked from the outside, and the room's connecting toilet shared. Prisoners must enter their cells for the night, which are just small rooms with a connecting toilet shared.
Nigga, one toilet? One, no wonder y'all got like rats and stuff in y'all prison, bro. All these people, one toilet? How was 800 people supposed to share one toilet?
Shared by all the inmates. The door is locked from the outside, and the room's temperature can quickly surpass 100 degrees.
Yeah, all that breath in there, bro, probably makes it fucking.
The majority of inmates sleep on the floor, tightly packed like sardines. They are actually so close together that no one can turn around.
Prime buffet for oil fleas and just everything.
But every so often, someone will clap a few times, and the entire row of inmates will turn simultaneously to sleep on the opposite side. But hold on, just as you think
Motherfuckers gotta wake up middle of the night, turn over to get comfortable. That's crazy. I wonder, what to have that dog. 'Cause that actually sounds not bad for breeding.
it couldn't get any worse, it somehow does. Any prisoner who causes trouble is quickly thrown into one of the isolation chambers, called the hellhole. The room's floor is completely covered in human feces,
Yo,
urine,
bro,
rat carcasses, and trash, living up
just
to its name. And thanks to
nastiness.
the large rat problem in the prison, outbreaks of the Black Plague are common and have killed many prisoners throughout.
The Black Plague. That's bad, bro. We cured the Black Plague so long ago, and I'm sure not once this, but it's so preventable at this point. We like this shouldn't happen.
The years. Number 1, Camp 14, common and
So,
have killed.
oh my God, what happened to this dude right here? We got Master Splinter up here doing his average.
Many prisoners throughout the years. Number 1, Camp 14. Kachon Prison, also known as Camp 14, is located in North Korea and is absolutely terrifying. In every prison in the world, criminals usually end up there because they committed a crime. But Camp 14 is very different. Here, there are 40,000 prisoners condemned to a lifetime of hard labor. And the sad part is that many of them are women and children, including children as young as toddlers, who never broke the law. Their only mistake
What?
was that they were related to a person who committed a political crime. This can be anything from criticizing the regime, attempting to escape from the country, practicing a prohibited religion, or even showing any behavior that is seen as disloyal to the regime. Conditions.
Damn, bro. Imagine me and a toddler. You accidentally throw up on a picture of the regime leader, and now your entire rest of their lives.
In the camp are atrocious. Starving prisoners resort to eating raw frogs, mice, rats, snakes, worms, squirrels, and even grass. But if the prisoner is
Oh,
caught eating any
God
other
damn
food
it,
than the food that they are given, they can be shot on the spot.
bro.
Starvation is one of the most common ways people die in the camps, which is one of the worst ways to go out. First,
Starvation. Starvation really is one of the worst ways to go out. I've never seen it like really in movies before like that, but let's just hear what he has to say.
their teeth begin to loosen and shake before eventually falling out. The person's bone structure deteriorates, and their entire body swells with water, a condition known as edema. Ultimately, the person inevitably dies. Dying from diseases is also very common. Prisoners can contract pellagra, tuberculosis, hepatitis, gastric disorders, and even develop frostbite from
I don't know what pellagra is, but I know what the
the
rest
freezing
is.
temperatures. And for prisoners that can no longer take it anymore and end up taking their lives, even that will carry a punishment. If
Bro,
that person had any relatives working at the camp, they will be punished for
you can't even die. Honestly, I feel like this is what North Korea uses. This is what North Korea based their entire regime on.
what they did. So let's cover some of the most common punishments that are used in the camp. Brutal beatings, stress positions, and isolation cells are all used. But if the officers are not in the mood, firing squad executions can come without warning. Now, the crazy part is, firing
Uncle Ruckus, right here. Basically, Uncle
squad
Ruckus.
executions can come without warning. Now, the crazy part is that Camp 14 is just one of many political prison camps in North Korea.
I didn't even see this camp was in